Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Shrish here this side. Thank you so much for joining in, and today's video is going to be about stop loss hunting. Now what exactly is stop loss hunting, why do they occur, and who does them in the first place? Make sure to stick around with me in this video until the end so you know all these terms and you know how to prevent yourself from getting hunted in the future. Let's begin. Now before we start the video, let me tell you about this one controversial fact of share market which most people, despite knowing, deny to accept. But no matter what, a fact remains a fact and cannot be denied in reality. What is the fact anyways? Okay, so if you are using discount broker for your daily trading activities, then you are giving free invitations to these people to hunt your stop losses. Now why so? Because discount brokers often tend to leak your data. Once in a while? No, not really, but regularly. Discount brokers are very well known for leaking the data of their clients, their entries, their exits, where their stop losses are, and that is why it becomes so easy for these people to hunt your stop loss. So what can be done? You can open an account with a full service broker, one that does not tend to lag, and most importantly, one that does not tend to leak your data. I have provided the link in the description of one such app named Angel Broking, which I use, which is a personal recommendation and not a promotional video at all. I'm not promoting Angel Broking, but I use it and I haven't faced any issues or anything of that sort in the recent times. So I can freely recommend it to you. You can just go out and check it, and if you want, install it and open an account with them. So let's get back to the video. Understanding stop loss hunting. What exactly is stop loss hunting? Stop loss hunting is a process where retailer's stop loss gets hunted by someone. Now who is this someone? We'll understand later in this video, but why stop loss hunting occurs in the first place. Now you must have heard about these people, the DIIs, the FIIs, the investment banks, financial institutions, etc. We call them the smart money. Why do we call them the smart money? We call them smart money because they are known for making good financial decisions. Now what is a good financial decision? What is a good investment advice according to you? According to me, if we buy something at a lower price and we sell something at a higher price, we all can agree that we can call it a good financial decision, right? Or we can sell something at a higher price only to buy back it at a lower price. So we can call these both things as good financial decisions. So what does this DIIs and FIIs do? Now let's say, for example, there's this stock XYZ which is trading at 102 levels, and now they want to enter in this stock. Now what will they do? Let's think from a DII or FII point of perspective. Let's say that it's trading at 102. Now most people who have bought on intraday basis must have kept their stop losses at 100 or 99 levels, right? Now what will the FII or DII do? They will push the prices down until 100 or 99 levels because they know the data has been leaked, they know where the stop losses are, or many a times if they don't even know the data, they have experience where the most common stop losses are going to be. So what they do, they push the prices down until 100 or 99 levels. You as a retailer, your stop losses get hunted, you are out. Even though you know the stock is going to go up, but your stop losses are done, you are out. So you get out, and then these DIIs push the prices up. Then these FIIs push the prices. So what technically they are doing? They are pushing the prices down and then they are pushing the prices up in this case in particular. Why do they do this in the first place? Why they can't just enter at 102 and just try it with everyone else? See, because when they enter in the markets, they do not enter with 5, 10, 15 or 20 quantities or even 20 or 50,000 quantities. Their quantities are in millions, and to satisfy those quantities at a price where they all can get filled, they have to push the prices down. Because if they start buying millions of quantities at 102, the price may reach 104 or 105 before even they complete their order. Merely because of the volume, the size of the order, millions of quantities, the price is going to drive up. And I do not want this. Why? Because they have a price target set in their mind. Let's say they want to enter at 100 and want to exit at 110. So they have a price target set in their mind that okay, we are going to make 10% return on this particular investment. But if they start entering at 102 and the price goes 104 or 105 before they complete their order, their average must be somewhere around 103 or 104, and then that reduces their return on investment. So if they average out at 103 and exit at 110, so how much they gain? They gain around 7%, whereas they could have earned around 10%. So this is why they do stop loss hunting. So by doing stop loss hunting, what happens is the millions of orders of retailers which are there, like the thousands and hundreds and thousands of orders which are there at 99 and 100, they get filled out by these people because they want to buy. And what is a stop loss for a buyer? A stop loss for a buyer would be a sell order. So there must be hundreds and thousands of quantities of orders, stop loss orders lying at 199 and 100 levels. So that they take the market down, they push the market down, they punch buy orders at where the stop losses are, and these stop losses provide as a cushion for them so the prices do not move up. So once they get in at around 99 or 100 levels, they can get out at 110 levels where they thought they would be and making the kind of returns they thought they would be making. So this is how the FIIs and DIIs operate. Now you would say this is a clear case of manipulation. Taking markets down along with you at your will and then taking it up at your will is a clear case of manipulation. Well, yes, I cannot deny it. It is, and this is how the markets work. Because if you remove the DIIs and FIIs out of the markets, there's absolutely no one to trade the markets. The market would be stagnant. It would hardly move 2 to 3% in maybe a month or so, because retailers alone cannot do anything in the markets. These volumes are driven by the FIIs or the DIIs only. So you can't really complain. We cannot really do anything about it, right? Except for one thing, understanding the process of DIIs and FIIs and how they operate, and take our steps accordingly. Like, just think about it. If you could get along in with the FIIs and get out with the FIIs, you would highly increase your chances of making money in the markets. Now, how to do that? Let's understand stop loss hunting in detail. I'll show you some images on the screen, have a look at them and try to find out what's common in them. I'll give you a couple of seconds. Now these images you see, they have one thing in common, and that thing is the wick. The wick below the candle is common in each and every image you see on the screen right now. And what does that mean? Let's understand this with the same example. Let's say the stock is trading at 102 and they push it down to 99. Now think about it. If you are an FII or you are a DII, are you going to wait even for a couple of seconds or couple of minutes to punch your millions of orders, or are you going to put your orders immediately as the market drives down to 99 levels? You're going to put your millions of orders as soon as you can, right? You won't be stopping even for a second. So as soon as the market drops to 99, you punch in your orders, and because of those heavy volumes, the market recovers back again immediately. And this is why we see all these wicks in all these charts, because these are examples of stop loss hunting. The wicks exactly tell us what exactly the stop loss hunting is and what exactly is going on. Now how do we differentiate between a stop loss hunting, or how the markets, or whether the markets really want to go down or not? How do we differentiate it? So until now we have understand what is stop loss hunting, who is doing them, why they are doing them, and now we understand what is stop loss hunting versus how do we identify which one is really the stop loss hunting, or whether the market really wants to go down. So let's come back to same example, 102, 99, prices come back. Now same thing, we talk about it again. Okay, if you are an FII or DII, you will completely put all your orders immediately, so the market drives back up, and this creates a wick, the shadow, we call the shadow. It creates a shadow. Now if you want the markets to go down, will you buy? No. So what happens is the price shows sustenance at those levels. When it's not a stop loss hunting, the price shows sustenance at those levels, like it will sustain at 99 for a couple of minutes or so. And when it sustains at those levels, you can clearly see it's not a stop loss hunting. The market is not going back up, they're not driving the prices up. So this is not a case of stop loss hunting. So what is it? If it's not stop loss hunting and the markets are coming down, what it can be? Yes, you got it right. It's the markets are going to go down. They have probability of going down now more than they have the probability of going up. So in the short term, the down move can really prevail over the up move or the consolidation thing. What does that mean? If it's not a stop loss hunting, the markets are going to go down. And how do you identify it? If the markets are covering back immediately or not. If the price sustains, it's going to go down. If it does not sustain, comes back up again immediately, it's a stop loss hunting. So I hope these things are clear to you now, and if you still don't understand, feel free to ask the questions in the comments. I see your comments and I'll try to answer each one of the questions that are there. And I hope this video is clear. I hope you have understood something out of it, and if yes, then make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'll keep coming back with such more content for you guys, and take care until then. I'll see you around. Peace.